Most performers walk onto a stage. Michael Jackson arrived. There is a massive difference between those two things, and this video is going to break it down once and for all. In this video, we are counting down the top 10 most legendary stage entrances in Michael Jackson's career, and by the time you finish watching, you will understand why nobody has ever come close to doing what this man did before he even sang a single note. And finally, in first place, Michael Jackson's Super Bowl XXVII halftime entrance did not just change the rules, it blew them up in front of 133.4 million people. Before 1993, halftime meant marching bands and snack breaks. Then James Earl Jones's voice rolled out over the Rose Bowl, calling it an unprecedented Super Bowl spectacular, starring Michael Jackson. On the jumbotrons, Jackson's silhouette appeared twice, with body doubles staged high above the crowd, tricking 100,000 fans into thinking he was already everywhere at once. Then the real Michael launched out of a center stage catapult, landing in a perfect stance. And then, nothing. For 1 minute and 52 seconds, he did not move. He did not speak. He did not even blink. The crowd lost its mind. TV cameras cut from screaming fans to the frozen king, holding the world in suspense. That silence was louder than any pyrotechnic blast. When the music finally hit, the halftime audience had actually grown. Something that had never happened in Super Bowl history. Nielsen flashed the number, 133.4 million US viewers, the biggest TV event of 1993. Guinness called it the most watched show in the country. The NFL donated $100,000 to Jackson's Heal the World Foundation, and the halftime show became a global headline. This was more than a concert entrance. It was the moment every other pop star started dreaming bigger. In less than 2 minutes, Michael Jackson turned standing still into the most electrifying moment in television. No one has ever arrived like this, before or since. In second place, the Dangerous World Tour Toaster entrance didn't just open a show, it detonated the roof off stadium concerts forever. Most artists walk up a ramp. Michael Jackson launched himself from beneath the stage like a human missile. At every stop on the 69 show Dangerous World Tour, with 4.5 million fans watching worldwide, the stadium would drop into blackout. Then, in a split second, hydraulic power rocketed Jackson straight up through a trap door, flames exploding at his feet as he landed upright, unscathed, unshaken, and already larger than life. The vertical lift hit stage level in under a second, synchronized perfectly with the opening blast of Jam. Fans called it the toaster for good reason. Blink, and you missed the king of pop shooting skyward. Even Janet Jackson, watching from the sound tower, told Revolt.tv that she saw kids so overwhelmed by the eruption that they spun around in confusion, unsure where to look. This was not a one-off TV stunt. It was a touring spectacle, engineered to jolt tens of thousands into instant hysteria, night after night. By the time you finish watching, you will know, Michael Jackson didn't just enter. He arrived like a force of nature, and the toaster made it routine to expect the impossible. In third place, the History World Tour's space capsule crash turned Michael Jackson's entrance into a full-blown sci-fi blockbuster. Stadium lights dropped, sirens blared, then a steel-framed capsule, several tons of welded metal descended from the rafters, smashing onto the stage in a cloud of smoke and sparks. For a heartbeat, the world held its breath. The hatch blew open, and there he was, Jackson, armored in gold, standing like a visitor from the future. This wasn't just a concert, it was an arrival scripted for legend. Over 82 shows across 57 cities and 35 countries, more than 4.4 million fans paid to witness this spectacle. The History Tour passed $165 million in gross revenue. That was the highest for any solo artist in the 1990s. The capsule's pneumatic pistons and custom rigging demanded stadiums built for the Olympics, not just rock shows. By the time the smoke cleared and Jackson stepped out, the crowd was already at fever pitch. This was the moment when stagecraft became stadium-scale myth-making. No one before or since has made an entrance feel this monumental. In fourth place, Michael Jackson didn't just make entrances legendary. He turned leaving the stage into a showstopper all its own. The Dangerous World Tour jetpack exit was not a simple curtain call. As the final song hit its peak, Jackson, strapped into a wire harness and with a burst of smoke, hovered above the stage before soaring across nearly 200 feet of stadium air. Fans lost their minds watching the King of Pop literally fly away, blurring the line between concert and comic book fantasy. Behind the illusion was a
secret. The jetpack flight relied on a hidden stunt performer and a custom-built harness with a backup plan ready for rain. 2 shows were swapped to a standard walk-off when the weather refused to cooperate. By turning the end of a concert into a second arrival, Jackson rewrote the rules again. No other artist has ever made an exit feel this much like a grand entrance. In 5th place, Motown 25 was not just a television special, it was the night Michael Jackson transformed a stage entrance into a seismic event. The house lights dropped. For a moment, the world held its breath. Then a single spotlight snapped on, catching the shimmer of one rhinestone glove. No pyrotechnics, no hydraulics, just Michael alone in the beam, letting the tension build until the crowd erupted. He slid into Billie Jean, every movement measured, every pause electric. And then, history. With a single glide, Jackson unveiled the moonwalk for the first time. 47 million Americans watched live, with the global audience topping 50 million. Rolling Stone called it a cultural earthquake. That moonwalk did not just launch a dance craze, it turned a simple walk-on into a legend. No hardware, no props, just pure body language and timing. From that night on, every pop entrance had a new standard: make the world stop and stare before you even sing a note. In 6th place, the Bad Tour's explosive liftoff marked the moment Michael Jackson took solo stadium entrances from simple to seismic. The lights drop, pyro flashes, then a hidden platform launches him nearly 10 feet above the stage, landing him in a blast of smoke, already in full command before the first beat hits. But Jackson does not just stand there. He rips off his sunglasses, flicks them into the crowd, and the place erupts. Those shades instantly become prized souvenirs, hunted by fans for years. This was not just hardware, it was attitude. The swagger, the precision, the sense that every gesture mattered. Contemporary reviews called it pure electricity. The Bad Tour's opening did not just scale up the spectacle, it set the blueprint for the mega entrances that would follow. By the time he kicked off that first show, Michael Jackson had turned the act of arriving into an art form all its own. Number 7. The Victory Tour synchronized sunglasses entrance brought family swagger to a whole new level. Picture it. 6 brothers lined up in perfect formation, each one strutting forward in lockstep, the crowd's anticipation building with every step. Then on cue, every Jackson lifts their sunglasses in unison, but the spotlight lands dead center, right on Michael. That single move wasn't just choreography, it was a passing of the torch, setting the stage for the solo era that would follow. The roar from stadiums was deafening. Press clips from 1984 called it the sound of 2 million fans witnessing a coronation. No pyrotechnics, no gadgets, just pure stagecraft and the kind of family unity that could only come from Motown's first dynasty. By the time those shades came off, the message was clear. Michael Jackson was no longer just one of the brothers, he was the one the world came to see. 8th place goes to a moment that proves Michael Jackson did not need pyrotechnics or special effects to send a crowd into meltdown. At the 1995 MTV Video Music Awards, it was just a simple walk onto the stage, but the effect was seismic. Cameras panned across Radio City Music Hall as Michael appeared, and the audience exploded. No lifts, no capsules, no tricks, just pure presence. The cheers hit a fever pitch, drowning out the opening notes. MTV's own press called it the wildest VMA reception ever, and WatchMojo still ranks this as the #1 VMA entrance. In that instant, Jackson showed that even in a world built on spectacle, star power alone could turn a walk-on into a cultural earthquake. Number 9. Madison Square Garden, 2001. When Michael Jackson reunited with his brothers for the 30th anniversary celebration, nostalgia turned into a tidal wave. The moment the Jackson 5 formation hit the Madison Square Garden stage, the arena erupted, unleashing a wall of sound that nearly rattled the rafters. 2 nights, both sellouts, and every fan on their feet before a single lyric.
This wasn't just a walk-on, it was a homecoming, a living flashback that triggered decades of memories and a fresh jolt of hysteria. Reviewers called it a decibel spike that rivaled any rock concert,
with some fan accounts claiming the cheers could be felt in the bones. By the time the brothers locked into their signature strut, it was clear emotion itself had become the spectacle. At Madison Square Garden, legacy wasn't just remembered, it was deafening. In the 10th place, Michael Jackson's final vision for stage entrances was never seen by a live audience, but it still pushes the imagination. During June 2009 rehearsals for This Is It, he planned to burst onto the O2 Arena stage by leaping out of a trap door, morphing from a glowing silhouette on a massive three-dimensional LED cityscape. Director Kenny Ortega described it as a multimedia leap, part hologram, part live explosion. The concept fused digital illusion with physical spectacle, hinting at a new era of concert openers. Even on the edge of his last act, Jackson was rewriting the rules, proving that for him, the next entrance was always bigger, brighter, and just out of reach. Across every entrance, one truth explodes. Michael Jackson didn't just arrive, he made Arrival the main event. When 133 million tuned in, or he shot sky high in front of 57 cities, nobody else even came close. Stage presence redefined. Forever. Which entrance blew your mind? Drop it in the comments.